Hey, Cortavius here. I want to talk about the Chronophage set buff from the event dungeon. I've seen the content creators YouTube, thumbnails where they look stunned and farm now, go after this set. I don't think it's that good of a buff. Yeah, it's a good buff because the set was trash before that. But I don't think it's this OP set you want to go spend a ton of energy on. So that's what I want to walk through in this video. What did they change? What do I think the limitations are? So why you'd want to come in this thing with the eyes wide open, is it worth farming? Who would benefit from it? And what are some of the counters to that set? So let's get into that. Before I do that though, if you want to start a new account, I really do think I've got one of the best promo codes running out there right now because you can add Arm and a legendary poison to your account, which gets you started off right in the most important part of the game, Clan Boss. You get the best epic in the game, Uugo, Mausoleum Mage, and Anax as you progress. All you got to do is follow 4 steps. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on the PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid, complete the tutorial. And step 4, go to your inbox and Narma's sitting there waiting for you. Enter the code Demon Slayer and you add Tholan, the legendary nuker, to it. And log in for 7 days and you add Michelangelo, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Crazy way to start. So, all right, so let's get into this set and what did they change on it. That might be a little dark, but I think you can still see it, sorry. If you just look at what they changed, so it had HP and resistance with 2 pieces, you got speed for a third, and then it was 1 stack of immutable, 2 stacks with 6 piece and 9 piece 3. And it would reduce 1 turn on the skill cooldowns. So you would need kind of a 9-piece set to be able to get your skill back to the full. So what they did with the after rebalance is you get resistance and speed. So it's like pinpoint with resistance. Pinpoint gives you 20 accuracy and speed. This one gives you 20 resistance and speed. And then it piles more resistance on, more speed on, and you get the same 3, 4, 6, and 9 immutables. But what they also changed is that 1 immutable stack will protect 1 full skill instead of 1 turn on a skill. That's the significant buff. So let's look at the language though, because this has changed. The immutable buff will block an attempt to increase a skill's cooldown on a champion. It doesn't say all the champion skills. It says a skill's cooldown. And you can receive multiple stacks. Each immutable stack will negate a single attempt to increase a skill's cooldown on a champion. So if a skill specifies that increases a skill's cooldown by 3 turns, a single immutable stack will block that cooldown increasing effect entirely. After a single attempt to increase a skill's cooldown, the number of immutable stacks will reduce by 1. So it's been interpreted by some to say that if a warlord, or an Alice tries to reduce the cooldown of all the skills, or Fabian, that single stack will stop that skill attempt and all your skills will be left, not on cooldown. I don't think that's what that says. I think it says it will attempt to increase a skill's cooldown on a champion. So I think you need 1 stack to stop the attempt on 1 skill, 2 stacks to stop the attempt on 2 skills, or 3 stacks to stop the attempt on 3 different skills, or if you only have 2 skills that can cool down, you'd have 1 stack remaining for a second attempt of that champ if you put a 9-piece set. Why do I think that? So if it stopped all skills with 1 stack, what would be the point of the 6-piece and 9-piece? I just don't see them making that set where you need 9 pieces for 3 stacks just in case there's 3 attempts to lock your skills out. Maybe that's it. And then I think it's a better set, subject to the limitations I'm going to go to next. But I do think there's a very good chance this is about 1 skill per stack, not all skills 1 attempt per stack. Big difference in how the set works. So hopefully those that have access to the test server can go play with this if it's on the test server. Otherwise, it's going to have to wait until people get enough sets and then can go have a reset champ try and reset them and see if it works. So it'd be nice if we had that friendly battles in arena to be able to go play with this, but I haven't seen anybody who's actually proven which way it works. So, because if it is 1 skill attempt instead of all skills, then that 4, 6, and 9 piece becomes problematic. Because if you have a champ, which most champs have at least 3 skills, one's the A1, and then 2 skills that could be reset. So if I need this 4-piece set to get one immutable stack, and that only gives me a 50-50 chance on which skill it protects, and I might need one of those skills to really go first in arena for that champ, I don't think I want to use a set that gives me a 50-50. So then I might need the 6 pieces to get 2 stacks and protect both of my active skills. So I have a 100% chance that the skill I want's not protected, but a 6-piece set's problematic. Now I can't do a 4+ floor. I can't have 4+4-piece stone skin and 4-piece chronophage. I'm limited to 3 other pieces. So the 6-piece set's problematic. So if it's 1 skill per attempt, I think this set is similarly a problem. I don't think a lot of people would want to use it. If it protects all skills from 1 skill trying to reset all of your skills in 1 stack, then the 4-piece set becomes doable. So that's huge, which however way that's going to come out. All right. Let's even assume that it protects all skills from 1 attempt. And then let's think about the other limitations of this set. So even if it's all skills being protected in 1 stack, I think there's champs that I'd still question putting it on. So if I have a champ that's a damage dealer for me in arena, somebody like Narcissus or Marius or Geralt, in this case, Frolny. So whoever is, could be your starter if you're progressing and you're new watching this. I mean, I'd rather have 4 pieces of lethal and 4 pieces of stone skin. I don't even have that on Marius because I use them in PvE too, but I probably just can't get good enough stats, So would I want to use a 4-piece chronophage and a 4-piece damage set on a nuker? I'd rather have 4-piece merciless, 4-piece stone skin. I'd rather have 4-piece stone skin, so stone skin lethal or merciless lethal or 9-piece merciless or 9-piece slayer. So for a damage dealer, I just don't think protecting against lockout would be my top priority. It's PvP focus in the first place. So if you're using your champs in both PvP and PvE, then do you really want to have a 4-piece set on that champ that really only is good in PvP? There's not enough places in PvE where anyone's trying to lock down skills that it's a problem. So you would be using half your set on champs that just don't get a benefit from it. So damage dealers, debuffers, if I take somebody that's going to be putting debuffs out there, well, I'll take someone like a Romantu who got power, basically nerfed when they put out both stone skin reaction, but then polymorph. So polymorph just makes them a sheep magnet. So Romantu is more likely to be a sheep than he is fighting in the battle. So if you want to use Romantu in PvP, you probably want to put him on a pinpoint set so that he doesn't turn into a sheep. So do I really want 4-piece pinpoint, 4-piece chronophage just for the chance that he might get locked out? Or would I rather have him in stone skin in case we don't go and 4-piece pinpoint or 9-piece pinpoint? So I just don't know on debuffers that you've got to stop from becoming sheep because polymorph is still out there, that's the set you want. So I think you're questioning that. Then mythical. So a mythical that you would have use a second form anyway. So somebody like Geralt, who I don't leave in form 1. I switch to form 2. So lockout, he's great against lockout because I'll just let them lock out his first form and then you switch to form 2. So any mythicals you have that can just change forms, you don't care about this set either. And then go first teams in general. If I'm trying to go first, in which case I want to use my warlord and try and lock them out, or I want to use a debuffer and I want to nuke them, then I don't need this set either. So it's just a number of champs that even if it's a set, are you really putting it on? How many people would you really put it on? Which I do think drives how much you'd want to farm it. Another con of the set, which isn't about who would use it, so just changing subjects here, but cons of the set. Speaking of Warlord, nice nerf to Warlord. Because really all Warlord does for me in PvP, he does have a nice A2 which puts up block debuffs for 1 turn and a shield, and he does some heals. But you're bringing him in to do the lockout. So if he can't do that job, Warlord loses a ton of value if people did use this set. Now hopefully they don't use it on their nuker like I just described or their debuffer, and if you can go first, then you can still lock them out. But if this set gets widespread, it's a direct nerf to champs like Warlord, but for champs that are just trying to lock out, Alice. And the one that a lot of people are commenting on, because a lot of newer people have him, is Fabian, right? So Fabian loses a lot of value on his A3 when he's going to do a chance when he's going to lock out the skills. So it hurts Fabian, but there's still he still does a lot of cool stuff. He can decrease the duration of buffs. He can still do petrification and fears, and he's got an A1, and he's got a passive that does stuff. So it's not making Fabian garbage. He's got a lot of stuff he still does. He's a great control champ, but it does take out a nice piece for his skit, right? If people were using this. So, it feels a little bit like they put Wand of Submission out to basically put a collar on Armands or nerf Armands. And honestly, since the Wand of Submissions are everywhere, I've noticed it used to be who picks Armands first. Whoever goes first in the battle, they pick Armands. If I go first, I pick Armands. And Live Arena was really irritating because everybody just picked Armands first. That's kind of gone away. I use Armands a lot, and he turns into a sheep a lot now. So or he gets stunned a lot. So he tries to stun them, and the stun bounces back and stuns him before he can take another turn. So it's really taken out the turns that my Armands has taken, I've noticed. So Wand of Submission spreading. This feels like the set to counter Fabian. It's not as good as the Wand of Submission because that's just a relic you can put on and save your gear sets. This is actually a set you'd have to put on. But it looks like to me, hey, put out a champ that's irritating, then sell the solution. We'll give you Wand of Submission to solve Armands that we gave everybody. Well, we gave everybody Fabian. Let's go ahead and give something to solve that. So that's probably gaming 101 if you're game designing. The other thing I don't like about it is we mentioned Fabian. So this is one that a lot of people are getting wrong, by the way. Fabian does not remove buffs. He will not take that buff away that's protecting from the skill cooldown. What he does is he reduces the duration of enemy buffs. That does not count. They said this buff has no duration to it, so you cannot decrease the duration of the buff. So Fabian doesn't take it away, neither does Marius. Those champs will not remove this. You have to get a debuff remover that strips it. And then we'll have to see somebody like Crixia. Does she remove the buff and then lock down skills? Or is it not sequential? So, hey, careful. Fabian and Marius are not doing the jobs to counter it. So those are probably all the cons I would mention. Or limitations, probably a better term. Let's talk about where it does make sense. Reset champs like Kaimar and Yumiko. If you're not going to go first, if there's a risk you don't go first, and you put this set on a Kaimar and Yumiko, that they don't then get their skills reset, they can now reset the skills of all your team, and your team's back in the battle. So the reset champs that are out there, it's a nice set for them potentially to consider where you use them. Once again, you're now putting a set on a champ you probably wanted to use in other content, so you'll have to use the free re-gear and swap that out. Revivers, anybody that's going to revive that you use on your team that could have that skill locked out and you need it, it does offer an opportunity to put it on a reviver. You got a fun champs like a Epic Cardinal that you could put into a stone skin, four-piece stone skin, 4 pieces of this if it's on all skills, not on one skill, and put her in high resist, and she can pop people up. The thing to be careful with when I say it's good for the reviver can pop the team up, but if that lockout champ put the lockout on the rest of your team and they didn't have this set on, then you may be popping people up that just don't have any skills. So revivers that have the ability to bring the skills back become a little more interesting. So somebody like Godseeker that can reset the skills. Be interested to see if they put more champs out that do have the ability to bring champs back with full reset of their skills. I thought there's another champ, there's a Void Leg or somebody that does that too. So there's other champs that probably do that now. But those become more interesting to have them in this set in particular. So 2-piece accessories, we did say that it's 20 piece of accuracy or resistance and 20 speed. So the same thing you do with Pinpoint. Somebody where you want to get them with an extra 20 speed and 20 resistance. So for those two accessory ability to do that. So, you have Pinpoint that can do that now. So if you don't have enough Pinpoint in your account that you can put 2 pieces on champs that you'd want, this offers another chance. You can put 2 pieces of a ring and an amulet on a champ and get a speed boost for them, just like you do with Pinpoint. So you'll get 20 resistance and 10 speed. So it's a nice 2 accessory set. If you don't have enough Pinpoint or you like the resistance, it offers more farming to get that done. I guess, and then the other one, you do have some fun champs that could use it, like a Lady Noelle. You could put her in 4-piece Stone Skin, 4-piece Chrono, and then with Sir Nick, she can't get locked out. She can put her skill on Sir Nick and the team goes unkillable, put him in a protection set. So, you know, you can do some fun things, I think, with it in that mode. So those are the pros. Counters to the people who have this set. You know what? Maybe you got to bring back the buff removals. So Armand's is still good because Armand's has a chance of removing all buffs from all enemies with his A3. So you sheep somebody, you strip off the buff, then you lock them out. So the old Madame Saris is the epic of the world. So, you know, and then the mythicals, Crixies of the world. So somebody who can strip buffs can then take that buff away, then you lock them out. Problem is, you do not that. Now you have to have your debuffer in a team. You have to have a lockout on a team, and your debuffer would have to be faster than your lockout. So you're really bringing all those people to the same fight, but you could do it. So somebody who can do buff removal prior to lockout, like Crixia, and then Yumiko and Kaimar now are counters because they can reset the skills as well. So one thing that I didn't mention, that last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll end this, is my biggest thing I don't like about this set. It's another 9-piece set. 9-piece sets are just crazy in this game. Accessories are a nightmare. So I think the free gear removal could be a big benefit for artifact sets because you don't have to keep as many. But for accessories, you still need enough accessories for every type of accessory, for every clan, for every faction. So that is 2,700 pieces you'd have to keep one of each type in every type of accessory on every faction. Just one. If I want 1 HP standard ring and 1 HP feral ring, and then all those combinations, 2,700 pieces, and there's only 1,600 spots. You can't even keep one of everything. If they made this by alliance instead of by faction, it'd only be 700. So I think that's a change they need to make. So really, man, am I a fan of just farming another 9-piece set that could just fill up like Pinpoint does? 15 pieces across 15, 3 to 5, 6 pieces across 15 factions, like another 90 pieces. I just don't have the space for it. So that's probably the last frustrating thing. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this. I think there are niche uses that I laid out. I think there's good uses for it. If it's all skills instead of one skill on one stack, that definitely makes a 4-piece set doable for the right champs. If it's one skill for one stack, I don't think this set's even that useful on anybody. I'm just not excited for it at all because then you'd have to use 6 pieces, and I just don't think that works. So just a little caution. Let's find out what it really does. Think about whether it's worth using your energy on. Hope that helps. If it does, please like and subscribe. Thanks.